Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
And today we're going to talk about the government, our newly formed government. Micheál Martin is the Taoiseach. I think we're in the Green Party and a few more thrown in there as well. So let's talk about it.
Yes, well, you have the Fianna Fail, Fine Gael, which, and some people regard it as historic from the point of view of those two parties that were permanently in opposition to each other and never coming together. But now they've come together because necessity is the mother of invention. And here they are because they have to come together. Otherwise, there'd be no government. And they have to go with the Greens, who have an agenda which is peculiar to them about climate change and wanting to tax right, left, and centre about that, and probably talking about cattle in fields having something to do with the ozone layer, which seems extraordinary to anybody except them, and perhaps a couple of other so-called experts that probably believe in all sorts of old nonsense because I think cows don't have anything to do with the air, the same as we don't, and all the rest of it. But remember, these three parties, all with their own agenda, coming together because otherwise there would be no government. The election occurred last 8th of February, and just up to now,
Yeah, go on then.
just up to now,
Yeah, you're right now. Go on.
just up to now, we've had government that was defeated and defeated badly, and we've had ministers that lost their seats, and still for the last 4 months sounding off, and Mr. Coveney, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, who apparently is still going to hold on to that portfolio, which seems to me not a good thing. In any event, he increased the budget to the World Health Organization by 4 times what we're paying, and millions, because President Trump and the US administration has withdrawn from that World Health Organization because of the policies they pursue, which is abortion, pro-abortion, and they accepted the Chinese version of events as regards to corona, with the detrimental effects that has had worldwide. Because and the reason it had such an effect was because the Chinese from that particular area, I think 100,000 of them or something, travelled all over the world. So that's why it spread everywhere. They already had it because of their policies that got to do with bats. I have an article that I'm going to be reading about bats shortly, bats in the belfry. So, but I saved that for again. But this Micheál Martin and this Fine Gael government and these other people that supported the ending of life in the Dáil and had no debate. So they are forming a government, and regretfully they have blood in their hands. And because of their different agendas, John Malone, Christian Adams Jobs Action Party, doesn't think that they'll last that long. If the last 2 years to me is to be a miracle, I cannot see them lasting any longer because there's too much difference between them all. Maybe it's not so much between Fine Gael and Fianna Fail, because they supported the various referendum that we had, so they're singing from the same hymn sheet. To all intents and purposes, the Fianna Fail party must be with similar views because they've supported this government with Micheál Martin being Taoiseach. Now, this is his last chance saloon because he presided over a party that lost 16 seats. So he's in a place that I wouldn't like to be in if I was a leader of a party and expected to have any kind of clout. After all, I expect the party to gain seats, not lose seats.
I think the biggest obstacle to all the parties coming together is we had the coronavirus. We're still in probably going into going into the second phase of the coronavirus. But the problem with that is that so much money has been spent now. So now there's a budget deficit. So they're going in. They're starting a government with a budget deficit. So naturally, that's going to lead to problems.
Of course it is, because as one goes around, I see a lot of places closed. Now I understand some places more will be open tomorrow, including barbers, because there was a programme there in one of the and the lyric music, classical music program that I sometimes listen to, and it was they do some for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes every evening, Monday to Friday, a little YouTube spot with amateurs and others that are doing things now on YouTube because they can't perform publicly. But one lad had a piece out and it wasn't something that I was that fond of, but he dedicated to men need haircuts.
I think like yourself there, or maybe myself. Huh?
Well, I mean, sometimes I think I could put, you know, the way women put things in their hair. What's it called?
Curlers or something. Isn't it?
Yeah, I could do that because mine has gone that long. I think I've seen women with shorter hair.
You look more like a musician. You look like Mozart or something
Well,
with your long
I
hair.
do sing, of course, I suppose, and the birds sing along with me sometimes because I'm often out in the garden. I do a lot of stuff on my own at home now with my wife, Montour Maker, and Lord Commissioner, and all the rest of it. So I'm on the go all the time. I cut the grass, as I think I mentioned there, and just digressing for a bit. There on Thursday, it was 23 degrees. And I thought I'd fade and meet me maker because it was that hot. I couldn't cool down. I had to have a shower, maybe two. So I just digressing, but you know, these ones that's farming the government, I think they need a shower and maybe a long shower because their policies are all different. So how they're going to cobble, what they're going to cobble, I have a feeling it's going to be taxes. And I don't mean taxis, I mean tax as in forking out more. I'm a retired person for a nice few years now, active in some ways, but I'm paying tax, income tax, on a small private pension that I paid into, and I was paying through the nose. I'm paying tax through the nose. Here I am at it again. And I just wonder if when I do meet me maker, will they sort of try to get you wherever you go to get more tax out of you? So all I can say is that this government, this government and Mr. Radical, which apparently, if it lasts that long, he's going to put us behind on the Taoiseach's chair again. He was never elected Taoiseach, but he's managing to sort of play musical chairs.
Have you a preference, John, as a regard? Like, would you prefer Micheál Martin to be the Taoiseach, or would you prefer to be Leo Varadkar, or the leader of the Greens? Would you have a preference out of the three?
Well, no, I wouldn't have any preference out of the three at all.
You see them all as the same?
Yes, and I wouldn't like any of those three. If I was to have a preference in Fianna Fail, it might be Eamon O'Keefe, the grandson of Eamon de Valera. He seems to sing from a hymn sheet that I sing from myself.
Okay.
So that'd be mine, but however, that's not happening, and I don't think he's got any position in the government or whatever you, maybe a minister for state. One never knows, but I'd say he's out in the cold. Micheál Martin and Leo Varadkar, this man that was Taoiseach Prime Minister now for the past 4 months, and before that, he saw fit there to congratulate Muslims on the Ramadan, what they have there. They don't eat all day until night time, and congratulated them.
Mm-hmm.
So by congratulating the Muslims on the Ramadan, a thing he never did for Catholics, so it kind of shows that where he's coming from, and I just wonder, are the other ones going to be at the same racket, and is this where they're coming from, this multicultural side of things, so to dilute the Irish identity and especially the Catholic and Christian identity? St. Patrick come here and met all sorts of pagans, and he was able to convert them. But now we have pagans trying to deconvert what we suffered from, our ancestors suffered from, and my ancestors, and some of them probably died in the famine, between that and the penal times. And here now we have this crowd, our own crowd, doing what the foreigner couldn't do, what Henry VIII couldn't do, what Cromwell couldn't do, and though he butchered people right, left and centre. It didn't do them any good because the Catholic faith and the Christian faith lasted in spite of Dungeon further sour. Here now we have our own bloody so-called crowd doing their damnedest to destroy it and introducing all sorts of peculiar things, exclusion zones on these places where babies are going to be killed. Now, why are the women in the Dáil Éireann, like Rosie, why are they so anxious for to have these ones killed? I'm just digressing because this is what they have. They have blood in their hands because Micheál Martin and the Fianna Fail party supported that. If there was ones that didn't support it, they were very quiet. There was only some independents objected to it, and I hope they come together. And this is the only thing that I hope will happen, and I think it will happen because good always conquers evil. And you can take it from John Malone, the Christian Anglo-Saxon Party, that these bedfellows will not last. And I hope that the pro-life people, the TDs and members of the Dáil in Dáil Éireann will come together. Those people in Fianna Fail that are pro-life, and there are a good few, in my opinion, because I was in that organisation and it was good. But now it's not the same what I joined and what my relatives joined. So I can only say that I would hope, and I think it will come to pass, that people that are pro-life from the Fianna Fail and perhaps will come together to form a party with aim to another pro-life independence and make a concerted effort to have another referendum for these divisive issues that was inflicted onto society by the link of the Fine Gael party and the Fianna Fail party led by Micheál Martin. So I don't give them much chance for to be successful.
What do you think is their weakness, or their biggest weakness?
Their weakness is, to my way of thinking, their big reason because they all have their own different agendas. Per se, they're forming a government now, but you have to accommodate people that have a completely different approach to solving problems than you have. Now, we've all grown up with people and we've worked with people, and some people you couldn't work with to save your life because they're so different. And it's the same in a government. You have to have people that's unified. If they're all singing from their own hymn sheets, and there will be, they'll come together to try and cobble up something that they can agree on. But what will that be? Mm-hmm. Will it be for the good of the other citizens? To my way of thinking, it won't. But we shall see. I wish them luck in any event. Don't get me wrong. I hope to succeed, but unfortunately, I don't have much hope for them.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much, Oliver.